Hey, I'm Guido with Archery Unlocked, and today we have a pretty special video. So a couple of weeks ago, I reached out to Sanlida Archery, which is this company based in China who is known for making these really budget-friendly bows. And I was really curious because I am a target archer and a hunter, so I really wanted to test one of these bows and see what they're all about and to see why they're so inexpensive. So I reached out to them and they were kind enough to send me their Sanlida Archery Dragon X7 for me to review. And this is going to be a completely unbiased, they told me to do it with all my honest opinions, so that's exactly what I plan to do. So, as a disclaimer, my main bow is a Matthews Title 38, which, if you know target archery or archery in general, you'll know that this is pretty much the highest end flagship bow there is on the market right now. So I have some pretty high standards for this to hold up to. So not only does Sanlida make these really inexpensive bows, they primarily do super inexpensive ready to hunt packages, which basically means that your bow comes in a package that basically brings you everything you need to go out in the field and get after it. So with that being said, here we have everything that comes with this bow. First up, we'll start with the accessories and then we'll go into the bow and other things. So first things first, this bow comes with this 5-pin sight that has basically this light that also comes with the sight, and this light will shine into not only the pins but also the bubble, so even in bad lighting situations you can see both your pins and your bubble, which I find really helpful. So next up we have this bow quiver, which is also of course a detached quiver, which I prefer to run because I always go back and forth between hunting with and without a quiver, and it looks like it's going to fit all kinds of different arrows. Next, we have our rest, which is just a simple, I like to call these toothbrush rests because they're not fully a regular whisker biscuit with all the bristles all around, but I mean, this is as basic as a rest gets, and it does seem to be plastic in this whole section but metal over here. Of course it doesn't have any micro adjustments, but we'll see how this holds up. Then we have our shock absorber, which I'm not sure how much of a difference this really makes, but this is primarily just used to attach our wristling that also comes with this package. So next up we have this index style release, which I haven't tried it yet, but I'm kind of skeptical about this because it does seem to have a whole lot of travel, but we'll keep an open mind. So next we have our really nice kickstand, which I actually really like and might use later, but it comes with that. Then an arrow puller, and then this bow comes with a whole bunch of arrows, specifically a 12-pack, and these are cut pretty long, so they are pretty much designed to fit anybody with this bow and just still have some room. They come with the field points, and these are the way to go because these will fit anything. And lastly, this bow comes with a whole bunch of Allen keys, which you will use to set up the bow, because the really nice thing about this bow is that you pretty much don't need a bow shop whatsoever if you know kind of what you're doing, and if you don't, you can watch a YouTube video. It's very easy. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you guys that this also comes with this nice carrying case. Now for the part you've all been waiting for, we have the actual bow. So first glances, this doesn't look like a bad bow. I mean, we have an aluminum riser, pretty standard. It feels kind of light. I mean, there's not much to it. It is a 30-inch axle to axle, which is personally what I like to be at for hunting because it gives me versatility in a tree stand, but also has enough stability to shoot and keep my aim steady. This also has a 6.5-inch brace height, which also, same thing, gives me enough forgiveness, but also getting those speeds up. Moving on to the cams, we have an incredibly adjustable cam, which goes from 17 inches to 31 inches in half an inch increments with this rotating mod. And also we have a 75% let off. Pretty much one last thing, you can go from 0 to 70 pounds of draw weight, and that's pretty amazing because if you combine the adjustability of the draw weight with the adjustability of the cams for the draw length, you can literally accommodate for any archer. It also comes with our D-loop setup and with our peep, so that fully eliminates our need to go to a bow shop for this. Of course, I always like to support my bow shops whenever possible, but if you are simply not close to one or you don't want to go to one, this might be the way to go. Grip-wise, it does come with just the riser, and that's personally how I prefer to shoot my bows, and it does feel pretty nice, I gotta say. I really do like this grip. So here we have my bow all set up at 27.5 inches of draw length with 55-pound draw weight, and yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't know how it'll shoot, how it'll hold up, so all we have to do is go shoot it through a chrono and out in the field. Let's do that. So first up, we have our Sanlida X8 arrows, which are 546 grains. So I'm getting 199. Again, second shot. 209. 200. So with a 546 grain arrow, I'm getting speeds of around 200 very consistently. So let's try my lighter arrows. Alright, so this is the Sanlida with my hunting arrow, which comes in at 368 grains. Ooh. 245, 242, 253. I am now also going to test the release that comes with the bow, but I don't trust this thing. If there is one thing I don't mess with, it's cheap releases, because there's just no need. Just get yourself a decent release. You can get index style stand. It's like $100, and you don't risk yourself a visit to the ER. So I'm going to try this release once and hope I don't punch myself in the face. Okay, it survived. Okay, it survived. Boy, that thing has a lot of travel in it. I don't know if you guys can see this, but you have to move it. Oh my god, it keeps going. Keeps going. Keeps going. Keeps going. You have to move it almost 1.5 centimeters for it to go off. Now, in comparison, this is a really high quality thumb button. This is a True Wall Goat. In comparison, you can see that as soon as I start moving the trigger, it goes off. That's how I like it. I don't think this is a good release. I'm going to be fully honest. I'm pretty happy with the bow, but this release is just asking to create bad habits for a beginner. All right, so we have the bow finally out here in the range, and we're gonna be shooting it at 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 yards. This is not really sighted in. I kind of messed around with it a little bit. But we're just gonna be going for groups and seeing how this thing shoots. Red tape. Right, this is the first group. I was aiming over here, so I gotta definitely move my sight. But I feel like the back wall being so squishy is definitely affecting my ups and downs. But it also makes it really easy to pull through my shots. Alright, so here I have my 30 group. Again, I was aiming over here, not sighted in. These were good, but this one I definitely pulled. But this one I think it was still a great shot, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not sighted in too well. So that one, like, I was aiming there, but like this group is okay. And then these two I was pulling really hard, as I would normally do. And we can definitely see there's like a 2-inch difference there. All right, moving up a little bit, we're going to 60 yards. I mean, I haven't moved my sight and I've been consistently hitting to the left, and we will see how we do. Groups wise. I cannot see my pins. .60, I was aiming to here, and these two were good, and then this one was way high, and this one I was aiming to here, and that one I was also aiming to here. So at 60 you can really see the variation with the spongy back wall, because even though it only moves a little bit, you'll definitely see some ups and downs. So that's definitely what we saw here. And then, I mean, it's just maybe the one I got here, I just kind of pulled it, but otherwise, I don't know. We'll shoot a couple more at 60 and see what happens. For this one, I'll leave the target cam up. So, here I'll be fully honest. I was aiming here, and then here. So, I'm assuming for these two, I was shooting over here, and for these three, I was aiming here. And that's not horrible because I don't have a lens, and I can barely see my pin with this lighting, but it's definitely not great. And all of these were good. These three especially, I was aiming over here, of course, but kind of hard. This foam is like super weird. But anyway, so those are the groups I get with my title. So we went from at 60 having a group pretty much this big with like, well, the outlier, and the Sanlida having a big one. My final review is that 40 yards and in, you have no problem killing a deer with this, or shooting at targets and having fun with it. But I would not take this over 40 yards because it just gets pretty inconsistent. Also the back wall. The back wall is a big issue for me because it's pretty spongy, and having had experience with higher level bows, I definitely noticed that. But I mean, other than that, for a beginner, I don't think you can beat the price of this thing, the adjustability of this thing, and it's just great. So 40 yards and in, perfect. Beginner, perfect. Adjustability, perfect. Draw cycle was a little rough. I won't lie to you guys, 55 pounds felt more like 58, so keep that in mind. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll have some more content coming out with this bow.